minutes to go. Oh, wait, we're hearing it now. The pick is in. Let's go to the commissioner and see what happens.
With the 5th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, Alabama.
Nigga with a vicious mind, hard cold like Christmas time. Every time I write a rhyme, put it all on the line. No need to hold my tongue, hold the mic like you hold a gun. Haters, I'm the chosen one. Fakers, I don't roll with none. Don't you ever test my heart. Been a rebel from the start. I ain't got time to play no games. I'm too busy playing my part. Keep my mind on my mission, living by my premonition. View the world with blurry vision, stressing in high definition. Not the man I wanna be, but I'll be damned I'm gonna be. In the hand, I'm gonna see the obstacles in front of me. What you know about sacrifice when life is far from paradise. My palms, they hold a paradise. I stay in clear of parasites. Walking the path unknown to most. The ones that I love, I hold them close. Every rhyme I wrote was dope, no jokes, so folks can overdose. Lyrically, I'm legendary. Yes, I'm very necessary. Plans to see my adversaries buried in the cemetery. Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Being smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, I'll fly through my eye. And in time you will find what I rhyme is not a lie. Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Being smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, I'll fly through my eye. And in time you will find what I rhyme is not a lie. You better open the door and let me in. I'm kicking the door off the hinge, the beginning of your end. When you friggin' with my can, oh you wanna be a thief, so welcome to eternal sleep. This is not considered beef, the beef to me is obsolete. For everything that you stole, put a hole in your soul, burning me internally. But why the hell am I so cold? Two wrongs don't make a right, damn sure gon' make my night. Better be ready to take that flight and take a step into the light. Now I'm in a bad mood, there will be no remorse. Now I got an attitude and plan to use deadly force. Now it's time for you to bleed, for your jealousy and greed. My mind telling me to kill, just like it's telling me. Because I know somewhere deep down in my heart, I still love you.
Oh, what is up, Straight Talk Society? This is your host, Trevor, and I am back with another episode of Beyond the Scoreboard, the post-game show for the Miami Dolphins. Oh, man, come on in. Eddie, can you hear me? Because I can't hear myself. Come on in. Come join me on the couch for the Dolphins. Crying towel. Oh my goodness. Hey, well, Miami, we knew this game was coming. We've watched this story. Okay, peace. We've watched this story play out for over 20 years now. In a must-win situation, in a playoff situation, basically. Because Miami's 4 remaining games were playoff games, even for them to have a chance to make it to the postseason. And in a playoff situation against a team that wasn't a world beater, a team that's not really all that good, Miami goes out and lays the proverbial egg. And we're going to talk about it today, man. But first, shout out to Eddie Israel in the building. Shout out to Ricardo. Shout out to Anthony Manzano. Shout out to those of you watching over on Twitter. Make sure and hit that like button. Anthony says this loss was on the defense. They played well. It was on the offense. And Tua and the defense held the Texans the whole first. All right, so there's a lot of blame to go around in this game. I'm going to put this game, but if I have to just give this game the blame to who I'm going to put this game on, it's the offense. The defense played with what they were given. A lot of short field situations. Tua decided today, and it's funny because the commentary kept making it a point to be like, hey, Tua since he's been back. 15 touchdowns. Like, he has 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 3 of those interceptions was in the Buffalo game. So since he's been back, he's only thrown 1 interception, and they just kept harping on it. And I'm like, man, this is going to be that game. The jinx is getting ready to come in, and sure as hell, right on cue, Tua picked this game to just absolutely play terrible. Now, you guys know that I've been a Tua defender, but he played terrible. But a lot of that is, again, what we go back to. He has to take so much of the game on his own that if he doesn't play lights out, there's no way the Dolphins could win. So he can't have a bad game and expect the Dolphins to win. And unfortunately, he picked today to have a terrible game. And we know where that stems from. That stems from the lack of running. That stems from the lack of running the football. We're going to get into that run game. But before we get into it, I got my observations for the game. So let's get into it. In the first possession, Miami's offense struggled early. I mean, in the first half, basically their offense was non-existent. Miami's offense struggled both running and passing. So the run game is 100% ineffective, which messes up the passing game, because if teams don't respect your run game, then they'll just rush 3 and drop 8, like what the Texans were doing. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle didn't have a catch in the first half. Last week, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle took the game over. This week, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle didn't have a combined catch in the first half of football. Think about what I just said. Tyreek Hill, $30 million. Jalen Waddle, a little under $30 million. They combined for 0 catches in the first half. And topple that with your run game just being anemic, just a horrendous running game. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't get anything going with that type of production. So Houston's first possession, they were just getting chunk yards. Everything they were doing was 8 yards plus, 10, 13, 14, 8. They were just getting a lot of yards. The pass rush for Miami in the first quarter was non-existent. CJ Stroud had all day to throw the ball. He literally was back there patting the ball, going first receiver, second receiver, third receiver, coming back to first receiver. We'll talk about that on the touchdown going into the half. But the pass rush was ineffective. I thought Bradley Chubb would have been back today, but apparently he wasn't. All your pass rush can't be coming from your interior D-line. Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell totally get a pass from me. They totally. Wait a minute. This proves he's not a great. Yeah, I'm not doing that one, Anthony. This proves he's not a great quarterback. As people made him out to be. The pedestal, some of his fans. Yeah, I don't believe that. We're going to disagree on that, because I guess I'm probably Tua's biggest supporter in the state of Florida. Yes, he does make mistakes, but he gives this team the best chance to win. We saw it. I mean, we saw it in the 4 games without Tua. The Dolphins were an unwatchable football team. Unwatchable, completely unwatchable. He comes back, and now they're in the playoff talks, and the offense jumps back up, in the mid-tier of the NFL. And that was all because of Tua. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to put that on Tua, as far as I'm not going to say he's a pedestrian. I would never do that, because, I mean, he gives this team the best chance to win. But the problem is, just like I stated last week he threw the ball 47 times. You can't throw the ball 47 times. You can't sustain that. This week, he got nothing out of the running backs. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And what I noticed So I've always said that the O-line isn't giving any push, but I really started watching and paying attention. The O-line was giving push. You know what the Dolphins running backs do? They dance when they get the ball. If it's a toss, Mozart and A-Chain, they never attack the line. They never attack the line. They dance. They dance in the backfield, and then they take their first step. So by that time, the defenders have already crashed the line. So there's nowhere for them to go. They never just get the ball and attack the line. And I noticed that today. There was one key play in particular I watched, and I'm like, oh my God, man, look at the O-line is really getting some push, but Moster's in the backfield dancing. He's in the backfield just dancing, and the D-line just completely swallowed him. So it's crazy, man. Like it's crazy that last year the Dolphins had the number one rushing attack in the NFL, and this year they may be the absolute worst in the NFL, and they still have the same running backs. Now I know both our tackles were out, but hey, again, this is football. You gotta find some way to make it work. Hell, the Texans had like 3 key defenders out. So you got to find some way to make it work. And I don't think the O-line was that big of a problem today, as I thought they would have been, especially without Armstead. Let's see. So I do have a big emphasis on the lack of pass rush is crazy. Sealer did sack Stroud, forcing the Texans to punt. Another note I got on here: Miami's run game is ineffective. It's ineffective. You know, Tua had to so basically what the Dolphins run game is now is short passes and screens. That's it. 5-yard passes and screen plays. That is the Dolphins running game, because they can't just line up and run the football. Their running backs won't attack the line. They will not. And I get it. A-Chain is small. So A-Chain's, you're not going to expect him to take a bruising like a Derrick Henry would. You're not going to get that. You're not Eddie saying his organization absolute dumpster fire right now. We need better coaching than another pass rusher. Man, hell, we might as well start talking about the draft now, because I think the Dolphins effectively eliminated themselves today, you know, because now we're 2 games behind the Colts, and we're behind the Colts now, and they have the tiebreaker because they won earlier in the season. So we were already in the hunt, but these teams ahead of us keep on winning. And so I mean, the playoffs is not happening this year. Another scary moment in the game, Tua, hard-headed Tua, just he is his own worst enemy. But again, his team is doing absolutely nothing for him. He's trying to scramble to get the first down. He lowers his head. He gets the first down. Guess what? Holding call is coming back, baby. So your quarterback scrambles. You already know his brain issues. Takes on a defender head first, only to get the first down. Call back. So I mean, today was just terrible, man. So Jason Sanders, we'll get to him later. 55-yard field goal. The next possession, Miami's defense started to show some life. And then, you know, they came alive and they got the Texans off the field. And the Texans, let me tell you something. The Texans played probably one of the most pedestrian games you're ever going to get today, but the turnovers completely helped them. Like, the turnovers gave them a short field. It absolutely helped them. That's why I put this loss on the offense. I don't put this on the defense. You know, Tua's bad play and just the offense just being anemic today. Forgetting to show up to Texas. I don't know if the spirit, they left their spirit here in Miami. I don't know what it was, but this offense was just horrendous today. So on this same ensuing drive, Tua gets destroyed. I mean, they come off the edge and they destroy him for the strip, the sack fumble, and they're taking it back the other way. So now the Texans have a short field. In that skirmish, Waddle got hurt. He never came back. Let's see. So the Texans do get a touchdown off of that that fumble. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, so the Texans did get I'm about to become a Lions fan. Hey, man, the Lions are my pick for the Super Bowl, man. So A-Chain runs the ball, A-Chain fumbles. Miami recovers, but they had to settle for a 36-yard field goal. So now they're trailing by 4. Next possession, CJ Stroud fumbles. Miami recovers, but squanders the opportunity with penalties, and then Tua throws his second INT. On the next possession, the defense limits Houston to a field goal after Tua's interception. So first half, Miami's offense only had 112 total yards. Since Tua's been back, Miami's been averaging about 350, a little under 360 a game. First half, they had 112 yards total offense. And again, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, this many catches. Can you see? Nothing. 0. This many catches. 0. I say that this is the worst half of football the Dolphins have played since Tua's return. Tua's first half stats, 14 to 20, 86 yards, and an interception. Tyreek Hill and Waddle, no catches in the first half. Your leading receiver for the first half was Malik Washington, 3 catches, 33 yards. So we go to the second half. Houston goes for it on 4th and 2. So this is where this was a big momentum swinger. Miami gets Houston into 4th and 2. They fake the punt. Get the first down, get inside the 5-yard line and fumble the ball. And Miami recovers, only for them to go to the video and see that he was down. So Houston dodged the bullet. But guess what? CJ Stroud had like 1 year sitting in the back to pat the ball. Nico Collins literally started from the left side, worked his way all the way across the field for Stroud to find him for a touchdown, because the pass rush was so ineffective. Like, there was no pass rush at all. 0 pass rush. So in the scariest moment of the game, Miami gets the ball back, and Tua throws a pass across the middle to Grant Dubois, who just got back, and he took a scary hit, man. Like, he took a hit and he just crumbled. It was so bad that it was an 8-minute game delay. It was 8 minutes just to get him off the field. They had to cut his jersey off. They had to unscrew his helmet to brace his neck. They did get him on the board, get him off. It looked like they had like EKG things on him. It was a really, really scary moment. And they did give an update that he was stable, that they transported him to a local hospital and he was stable. So we're just waiting word to see what happened with that. But man, that was a scary moment, man. I was watching some him. Wait, hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me see. I was watching some of the plays. It seems like the receivers from Houston got away a lot of offense, passing the play. Oh yeah. Oh man, listen, don't even get me started. But you know what? You know what I say about that, Anthony? Tough when it comes to Miami, because Miami needs to play more aggressive. So if you let their receivers body you and bully you around, then so what? Deal with it. Play more aggressive. Get stronger. I'm tired of seeing this team getting pushed around. Like, it's crazy. I have in here in my notes that Miami has 0 explosiveness in the offense, no run game, nothing open downfield. Listen, D'Amico Ryans literally was rushing 3 the whole game, rushing 3, dropping 8, and daring Miami to do anything past 5 yards. Like, literally, they were giving you all a little 5-yard. Most of the Dolphins' offense today came from 6-yard passes, screen passes. Like, you can't sustain like this. I was okay. Miami was a deep ball team last year. Fine. Most exciting, blah, blah, blah. Fine. But they went to this more short passing game, which was eating defenses up. And today it just did not work. And a lot of that is because you can't run the ball. When you can run the football, you make other teams honest. So now they got to bring They got to bring them secondary guys up a little more to try to stop the run when you're running successful so you could beat them over the top. But if you can't even run the ball for 2 yards, why would any safety want to cheat up? He could just play in the backfield all day and dare you to beat them over the top. And that's what they were doing. They literally were able to shut Tyreek Hill down because you couldn't run the ball. And that's literally like that's how it was. Like that's what they did. That's how they beat the Dolphins today. I have a note here. The Texans are rushing 3 and dropping 8 because there's no threat to run. Tyreek Hill got his first catch in the game with 6 minutes left in the third quarter, but he's getting $30+ million a year. He just got his first catch with six minutes left in the third quarter. And man, I should have worn my Tyreek Hill jersey today because last week I wore it and he went off. And I said I was going to start wearing his jersey. Oh my goodness, man. So down by 14, Miami kicks the field goal on 4th and 7. So this is where I thought the momentum was going to change because they got me a little bit. But you know the Dolphins always find a way to snatch defeat from the hands of victory. Miami was down by 14. They kicked the field goal on 4th and 7. Houston jumped off sides. So now it's 4th and 2. So Mike McDaniel decides to send the offense back out there. 4th and 7, down by 14. He's going to take the points, which Sanders did make the field goal, but he decides, hey, I'm going to take the points off the board. I'm going to send the offense back out there on 4th and 2. And then the best throw of the game, Tua finds Jonnu Smith with a dime in the back of the end zone. How the hell they connected on that, I have no idea, but they did score to bring it within 8, and good old reliable Jason Sanders, who y'all told me not to criticize last week, missed another PAT. So last week when he missed a field goal and I was just going crazy about it, I was told, hey, calm down. You know, he's a leader. You know, he's player of the week and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, bro, but he's missing a PAT. And here we go, another week. He misses another PAT. So now instead of being down by 7, now you're down by 8. So you need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion versus just a touchdown. So, you know, Miami continuously just shot themselves in the foot the entire game. Chop Robinson had a sack on C.J. Stroud for a 7-yard loss, forcing a loss and a punt. Miami gets the ball back down by 8. Miami gets the ball back down by 8 with like 4 to 5 minutes left on the clock. So now it's time for Tua to go in for the kill. Like, hey, let's bring them back. Let's do what we did last week. Go in for the kill. Worst case, we could get this in the overtime. 3rd and 1. It's 3rd and 1. This is where I tell you the running backs have zero smash when it comes to the line. 3rd and 1. Miami barely got that first down. I mean, man, if they would have reviewed it, there was probably a case that they didn't get it. It was that close just because they can't run the ball. Nothing they do is convincing enough in the run game. I am shocked that on 3rd and 1, he ran it there versus trying to throw it short. I'm really, really shocked about that. And here's my note. I blame Miami's running backs for not attacking the line. The O-line is getting pushed, but the running backs aren't attacking the line. The running backs are hesitating and dancing instead of running straight. So 3rd and 4th fails. Miami keeps the offense on the field, but bad clock management. They had to take a timeout. So now our clock management woes are back. I noticed in this game, there was a lot of times where that play clock was running down below 5 seconds. So it's 4th and 4. Tua hits Jonnu Smith for the 9 yards on the first down. So we're driving now. We're into their territory, like on the 30-yard line. 3rd and 5. Tua throws another interception. Oh my goodness, bro. He threw it like right to the defender. I don't know what the hell was going on there. He was off today. Like, again, Tua's my favorite player, and I'm a Tua fan, and we can't win without him. But sometimes you'll get this game from him where he just completely, I don't know who he's throwing it to. the problem with Tua, he has so much confidence in his arm and in his ability that he thinks he can make any throw and he could thread the needle for anything. When the truth of the matter is, you can't make every throw. You can't make every throw. And sometimes you got to stop testing fate. And that's what he did. He was testing fate. And he literally threw it right into the hands of the receiver. So that was a blow because we were going in for a score. But to the defense's credit, the defense did stand up and the defense did keep they did keep the Texans from scoring, so they did do their job. Miami gets the ball back. This is where we got the ball back with 4 minutes, down by 8, but we were starting on our own 10. So you're on your own 10-yard line. You got to go 90 yards the other way, 4 minutes to get the game tied. First play of the game of the possession, Tua gets sacked for a 10-yard loss. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, bro. So they try to run on second down. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. 3rd and 5, holding. No, 3rd and 25 with the season on the line. 3rd and 25 to keep your playoff hopes alive. Holding. Miami gets another holding call, and it happened on the 1-yard line because had it happened in the end zone, it would have been a safety. Happens on the 1-yard line. They throw a short pass just to give the punter some room. They end up punting the ball. So Houston gets the ball back. Miami's defense, again, to his credit. See, that's why I don't put too much on the defense, man, because they're holding up when it's time. You're literally putting the defense in a terrible position with the turnovers. You're putting the defense in a bad position. You're making them have to defend the short field all the time. And now here it is when you're going in for a game tying drive, you're turning the ball over saying, hey, defense, stand up for me one more time. And they do. They do stand up for you one more time. Miami's defense got the ball back to the Dolphins with 1 minute and 44 seconds left in the game. Plenty of time for this offense. This offense was shit the entire game. But you had 1 minute and 44 seconds and 1 timeout left to go the other way to try to get this game into overtime. First possession, Tua goes deep to Tyreek Hill. You got 1 minute and 44 seconds and a timeout. You don't have to try to get it all in one shot. Tua goes deep to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has the ball in his hand, and Staley says, give me that, bitch, and takes the ball right out of Tyreek Hill's hand. Takes it right out of Tyreek Hill's hand. When you first see it, it's like, okay, he just got that. But Tyreek had the ball in his hand, and Staley literally just went and took it from it. Give me your lunch money. I'm the bigger bully. And, and Houston got the ball back, and all they had to do was run the timeout. I mean, just terrible, terrible loss for the Dolphins. Again, but the narrative, here's another team with a winning record that you can't beat. So, it's okay to have that thrilling win against the Jets, but when you're playing an actual playoff team, you go and you lay an egg. So I say the Dolphins season is officially over. I mean, at 6-8, there's no way right now. What you're playing for now is to try to have a winning record for like the third or fourth year in a row. You want to have a winning record. Because the playoffs are done. There is no way to make the playoffs because everybody's at least 2 to 3 games ahead of you. And the Colts, which has the tiebreaker over you, is a game ahead of you now. So the playoffs are over. The Dolphins blew it. This was the season I had them going to the Super Bowl. I had them going 12-5 this season with a Super Bowl berth. But they completely crapped the bed. Let me see some of these comments. No, I'm not saying he's pedestrian. What I'm saying is he's not a superstar. Okay, I give you that he's not a superstar. Yeah, he's not a superstar. The only superstar in the NFL is like Lamar, Josh Allen, and Mahomes. That's it. Because believe it or not, Jared Goff is not a superstar. Jared Goff plays the safest game you'll ever see. He doesn't have to do anything because they have so many weapons on that team. He literally has to not fail. What did he have a game recently with 5 interceptions and they still won? Because that team is so talented. The Dolphins can't do that. Tua can't have a 3 interception game and they're gonna win because the talent isn't there. The Lions have a tremendous running game. The Dolphins have 0 running game. Like, I don't think Jared Goff is a superstar. Jared Goff is as safe as you want to. Jared Goff is Alex Smith, as game manager as you're going to be. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that because he's probably going to go to the Super Bowl this year. So I'd take that game manager right now over anything. But he's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. If he was a superstar, they wouldn't have got rid of him in LA. He's not a superstar. He's very good. Very, very good. They're not big enough to handle that punishment. Yeah, the Dolphins, I said it last week, are a very small football team in comparison to other teams, especially on the line. Like, they're little. They're very small. I said a couple of shows ago, the Dolphins need a big receiver that's 6'2". They need a receiver that's at least 6'2". Had you had a receiver that was 6'2" or above, that pass that Tua threw to Tyreek Hill, he wouldn't have been able to take that out of that guy's hand because he would have been able to go up for it. He would have been able to just completely go up for it. So that's where you lose out on not having a big-bodied receiver. You know, Tyreek Hill is fantastic, but I wouldn't say he's been exposed. Mike McDaniel's scheme has been exposed and he still can't get him the ball. But Tyreek Hill's numbers, Tyreek Hill had 1,700 yards the past 2 seasons. He'll be lucky if he gets 1,000. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about probably 1,000+ yard drop off over the past 2 years for what he's going to have this season. And that's just, and the only thing that changed is the lack of running game. There's no running game to keep them honest. When A-Chain and Moser last year were ripping off 20, 30-yard runs, guess what? The defense couldn't put 3 in the box. The defense had to cheat up and crash that line. But guess what happens when you crash the line against the Dolphins with the quarterback with the quickest release in the NFL? You get destroyed over the top, and that's what they were doing. They can't do it this year because they can't run the ball. And so now the defense is not scared of anything. No, it just didn't work out in LA. He makes the Lions teams better. Do you think Tua would do as good as God? Yes, with that team, absolutely. No, Tua is the most accurate football quarterback in football. Don't do that, Eddie, just to prove a point. No, Tua is the most accurate quarterback in football right now. And I'm not just saying that because it's my quarterback, but no, if Tua was on that Lions team right now, there would be no drop off. And they'd probably be a game better. I mean, hell, they only lost 1 game, so not really. It'd be no drop off at all. That Lions team is constructed great. They're constructed to win. They're tough. Their head coach is tough. They have the identity of their coach. When you see Mike McDaniel, he's laid back and he's like he's high all the time. And that's how you see the Dolphins play. They're very laid back. And when they mess up during series, they're on the sideline laughing and giggling. When you see the Lions, if they mess up, they're on the sideline checking one another because they have the spirit of their coach. Big difference. The Lions are a team that's built to last. The Dolphins are a team that's built to put numbers up and excite you for games. That's the big difference. It's funny because I was having a conversation with a Lions fan on one of my shorts the other day, and I told him, I say, I hope the Lions do win the Super Bowl because the Lions were just as bad as the Dolphins, and if the Lions could do it, then hopefully it'll break the curse of the Dolphins. No, I disagree. Tua has a team just as good and lost to the Chiefs with no receivers except Rice. Again, man, if Tua was on the Lions, put it this way. If Jared Goff was on this Dolphin team, what do you think they'd be? Well, but that's unfair because Tua wasn't playing for 4 games. Had Tua played for 4 games, we wouldn't be 6-8 right now. We really wouldn't be 6-8 right now. We'd probably be 8-5. So that's not a good litmus test right there because Tua was hurt for 4 games. When you look at the interception, do you blame that on Tyreek? Yes. I blame it on So I blame it on Tyreek for not holding on to it, but I give Stingley props for going up there and taking his lunch from him. I give props to the DB. Like he literally was in his pocket and just took it from him. He literally just bullied him and took it from him. So I give him props, but the ball was placed well. I mean, the ball was placed well, and he had it in his hand. That's the big thing that we're losing sight of. He had it in his hand. He's yeah. See, Eddie, if Tua was, and I'm a realist, if Tua was playing those 4 games, they would have won at least 2 of them. At least 2 of them. So yeah, that would have put him at 8 and right now it'd be 8-6. 8-6. So be in the play in a wild card spot right now. Because the teams that they lost to outside of Seattle, they got blown out by them. So that's the only team that, I'd have been like, all right, well, that's a wash there. And when Tua came back, the Cardinals game was a one. I mean, that was a field goal, 1 point. The Buffalo game, field goal. Like their losses just came by field goals, with the exception of today. So, Tua just makes all the difference in the world. And it just infuriates me. You guys are on the outside looking in, but like when you listen to like tomorrow, when you listen to Sports Talk Radio, these guys that were waiting for Tua to have this type of game, they're going to be chomping at the bit to call in because they're going to be like, oh, see, I told you he was a bum. I told you he was no good. Yeah, he played a terrible game today. His game was horrendous. Three interception game, terrible. But I will tell you, when he came back, nobody was saying that when he wasn't throwing any picks. So it's recency bias, and I get it. Fan is short for fanatic. So that's where we are with that. Let me go over the stats real quick. Oh man, so Tua was 23 of 30. Yeah, he only had 7 incompletions, 20 of 30, but it was a lot of underneath stuff. 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, not good enough. Devon Achane, 12 carries, 41 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. Raheem Mostert, 4 carries, 6 yards, 1.5 yards a carry. Jalen Wright, 1 for 3, just not gonna cut it. Malik Washington, 4 receptions, 47 yards. Jonnu Smith, 7 receptions, 39 yards and a touchdown. Achane, 7 catches, 35 yards. Tyreek Hill, 1 catch, 21 yards. Mostert, 2 for 9. Durham Smythe, 1 for 8. Grant Dubois, 1 for -2, and that -2, he got hurt on. So we're hoping that he's he's good. Anthony Walker Jr. and Zach Sealer, Chop Robinson all got sacks today. But defense is getting old and tired. So they're, but still they're bend don't break, which is crazy. They're still like just bend don't break. But the offense today put them in a terrible, terrible position. The offense put them in a horrendous position. And I just think this Dolphin team needs to be rebuilt. Chris Greer needs to go. I'm never for a guy losing his job, but when it comes to designing the football team, you failed. You completely failed. This is why I disagree with you a little. We lost games in the beginning of the season that we shouldn't have ever before Tua got hurt. Well, no, remember Tua got hurt. Tua got hurt in game 2. So we won the first one. We won game 1 against the Jaguars. Then the second game was against Buffalo. That's when he got hurt. So, and he was out the next 4 games. So he only played 2 games before he got hurt. Let me see. I have a conspiracy. Hold on. Let me drop this link. I have a conspiracy theory. Chris must have evidence on Stephen Ross. Yeah, I listen, man. Chris Greer needs to go. Chris Greer needs to get out of here. You know, I'm never for a man losing his job, but in the scheme of what you're being hired for, you were hired to construct a football team that can win and that could win in December and make a strong playoff run. And they've done neither since he's been here. They've done nothing. We've made the playoffs the past few years, which is good because there was a time we hadn't made the playoffs in like 15, 16 years. So that's fine. But making the playoffs and not winning the games and going to the games and being completely embarrassed on top of that, you know, is a big thing. So Chris Greer, his time is up here. I still think so. I had a scenario. I know it won't happen because, you know, you can't demote a man like that. But I was thinking that if they could somehow convince Mike McDaniel to stay on as the offensive coordinator and you could hire Vrabel as the head coach. And I'm not saying Vrabel is a world beater, but what I am saying, when Vrabel was coach of the Titans, that Titans team was a tough football team. And the Miami Dolphins lack toughness. That's the problem. The Dolphins lack toughness. So if they get a hard-nosed head coach, and not Bill Belichick, not Bill Belichick, but if they get a hard-nosed head coach that can come in here and change the culture, because every former player that leaves here always no, please, not McDaniel as OC, please. Everybody that comes in here always says that the Dolphins are the softest team. They have the most relaxed culture. They don't bond together as a team outside of the facility. I put that on the coach. I put that on the head coach. You're the head coach for a reason. You cultivate the culture of the team. They take on your identity. Look at Mike Tomlin. You can say what you want, but Mike Tomlin, that Pittsburgh Steelers team is always going to fight for you. They're always going to be in the games because they take on the culture of they take on the identity of their coach. Mike McDaniel, his identity is that of a stoner, just a laid back guy that just, you know, goes through his interviews like, yeah, whatever. It's like they don't ever, there's no toughness. Like, you got to be tough. The team is not tough. You know what was funny? I forgot to say this. I did have it in my notes, but I didn't say, is that there was a skirmish where, you know, there was offsetting personal fouls on both teams. So a lot of pushing and shoving. You know who I saw in the middle of it jacking up somebody from the other team? Tua. Little Tua, that is injury prone, as everybody says, is in the middle of the skirmish holding the defender off. You know, that stuff should be infectious. Like, if I was a player and I saw that, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to run through a wall for this guy. But they just lollygag. They give up on plays. And I'm not saying put your body out there to get hurt. Fine. Hey, listen, if you're getting a pass and there's a possibility that you're going to get blindsided, hey, you got to make the best business decision. But what I'm saying is, if you're a running back and you get the ball, stop dancing in the backfield. Run the ball into the line, crash the line, because the line is giving you a push. Mike McDaniel is not tough. Yeah, he's not. He's not. He's not. That's what I'm saying. If hold on. Oh, okay. Now I can see you. All right, Eddie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm good.
Man, you ain't look, I'm a Bears fan. So I mean, it can't be no worse than that, man. It don't get no worse than that.
Did the Bears play today?
No, we play tomorrow.
Okay. And who y'all got
Who play the
tomorrow?
Vikings? The Vikings.
The Vikings. Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that might be an L. But then again, I don't know. Which is what I came on here to talk about. You know, like our record actually don't even show what kind of team we actually are. It was really our coaching. Like it was really our coaching sometimes because like we lost a lot of games on just really fluky stuff or just like bad things happening at the very end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would literally be at least like maybe 8-5 right now, maybe or something like that. Or probably even more than that, maybe. But we lost a lot of bad games just on bad stuff, man. And you know, I just hate that they took so long to get rid of Eberflus, you know.
Well,
I feel like
I could agree with what you're saying 100% because that clock management at the end of that one game that got him fired, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, if he doesn't get fired right after the game, then something's wrong.
yeah, that was terrible. Like I said, I hate that they took so long to get rid of him. But you know, I kind of like Thomas Brown as not as head coach, but as offensive coordinator for sure. Offensive coordinator for sure. So I feel like the whole coaching staff needed to go except for him. And like that's honestly just how I feel right now. We need a whole new coaching staff.
I agree. I feel the same way. You know, I've been trying to find reasons why I think we should keep Mike McDaniel, but those 4 games with Tua being out showed me that it wasn't him, it was Tua. You know, so it's like so I'm like, hey, because you know they sold me on him being this mad genius and this mad scientist and blah blah blah, but you know you don't have your starting quarterback for 4 games and you only score 11 points a game. He comes back and now you're at 30 plus a game. Lets me know something. So okay, so why you up here? But no, I 1,000,000% agree with you on the culture. Like I think that's what I'm saying, man. I'm not a guy that put a lot of stock in head coaches because I think at the end of the day, whoever has the better players is 9 out of 10 going to win. But there are some teams that their coach instills such a attitude into them where it's just like, bro, you're not gonna beat me no matter what. I remember one time they interviewed Mike Tomlin on the sideline right before the Titan game, and he literally looked in the camera and said, "Whoever's the most violent in this game is gonna win." And I'm like, my goodness. I said, I wish that guy was my coach. And then I thought about, oh yeah, he could have been the coach of the Dolphins, but they said he was too hip hop.
Yep.
So, you know, so again, man, the Dolphins historically just have a terrible front office, just waste players. We were sold a bunch of fool's gold last season because when it came down to it and they had to go into the cold, they laid an egg. So I think the team just needs to completely just be torn apart. Get rid of trade Tyreek. I'm back. Hey, I'm back on it. Trade Tyreek Hill. Only people on this team you really need to keep is Tua, Jonnu Smith. There might be a couple of Zach Sealer, definitely. But everybody else is up for grabs, man. If you can get out of Bradley Chubb's contract, hell, get out of Jalen Ramsey's contract. This team needs to completely be rebuilt and with some toughness. And you need to get some linemen that are dogs that like are just tough, man. The line, oh my goodness, bro.
That's what we need. We need that one more. We need like one more offensive lineman, one more really good one. We don't need he ain't got to be a stop. We just need one more really good one because our line is pretty solid right now. We just need, even though we couldn't get it together early on in the season, but then again that was due to the play calling as well. I mean, you got Caleb holding. Shane Waldron had Caleb holding the ball like 3-4 seconds. That ain't gonna get it in the NFL.
Yeah, that's not gonna get it at all.
Yeah, that ball got to be at your hands in at least 2 seconds. You know, you got to be out of there. So that's one thing I like about Thomas Brown. The offense been more fluid under him. Everybody's getting the ball. The ball's being spread around, which is, I mean, we got Cole Kmet. I mean, he a top 10 tight end, and we weren't even targeting him. I mean, what kind of mess is that?
Man,
I mean, we weren't even targeting him. DJ Moore wasn't really getting too many targets. Just focusing too much in on Keenan Allen. Like, no, Keenan Allen is really the third option, really. Behind DJ and Ron, as far as receivers go, yeah, he really like the third option.
Anthony, I dropped the link again for you. Yeah, I think, man, it sucks because I know at the beginning of the season you thought that there was a possibility you guys could win the division, which hell, everybody thought that because you guys had a team that was built. So yeah, I think your coach completely let you down, and I think our front office just completely let us down. And the thing is too, we need a lot of help because we need a left tackle to replace Armstead. We need hell at this point we don't know what our right tackle situation is. We need a pass rusher because Jalen Phillips can't stay healthy a full season. Chop Robinson is coming along, but he's not coming along fast enough. We need some corners. We're gonna need a safety because I doubt they're gonna pay Javon Holland to keep him, so he's probably gonna walk. Yeah, man, our team is fractured, bro. Like this is, oh my goodness, man, this is a fractured team. Next season, I might be pulling my beard hair out next season. So what else you got coming? What you guys got coming up on the channel?
We got a lesson about Christmas this week coming up this Friday, and we got one coming up this Saturday. I don't know what it's gonna be on yet, but we got one coming up Saturday as well.
Yeah, man, y'all make sure and subscribe to the Men of God. Oh, now they telling me I better shave my beard. I was like, oh my God, so they telling me it's gonna be worse next year. So I did say that I was gonna crack open this bottle of 1800 if the Dolphins won their first playoff game in over 20 years. It looks like this is going to be safe up on my mantle because it ain't happening this year. So better luck next year, man. Eddie, I'm about to close it because Anthony says he can't come up. I'm about to close it down, man, so I could go do some work around the house. Oh my goodness, man.
All right, my brother. Thanks for letting me up, man. It was good talking with you.
I appreciate it. Hey, let me ask you, what do you think about what because you were talking about Jared Goff. So you really think Jared Goff is a superstar, huh?
Yeah, I mean, at first, during his LA days, I just thought like, okay, he was very good. But he's in Detroit, he's way better than he ever was in LA.
Well, he went to the Super Bowl in LA.
Yeah, he went to the Super Bowl in LA, but I mean, he was one game away from the Super Bowl last year. They just lost.
Yeah.
I mean, so they right back finna go. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl that 1 year. And they was never really the same after that. The Lions been better than they were. When they played the NFC Championship game, they better this year.
They shouldn't have lost.
They definitely shouldn't have lost that. They definitely shouldn't have lost that.
That's crazy. I agree with everything you're saying. I just don't say, okay. So I asked this question to one of my groups. I said, you're in the Super Bowl. You got one drive. What quarterback is getting you into the end zone? I bet you can't say Jared Goff.
You mean out of the active quarterbacks?
Well, yeah, let's use active, but I mean, so my answer is Tom Brady. No matter what, it's going to be Tom Brady. But out of the active quarterbacks, Who do you trust right there to get you to win that Super Bowl for you?
I mean, I got to go with Patrick Mahomes. I'm
So
sorry.
you're gonna go Mahomes.
Yeah, I got to go Mahomes.
I'm taking Josh Allen. I just think Josh Allen the best player in football. I'm sorry. I think if Josh Allen doesn't win the MVP because Saquon should win it, but they're not going to give it to a running back.
Not at all.
Which is stupid. But Josh Allen is the best player in the NFL right now, and it's not even close. What he's doing is ridiculous. But I like Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff, I thought he got a raw deal in LA when they traded him. They traded the guy away. He was the number 1 pick. They traded the guy away like he was a bust. And he's literally, but the Lions are built as such a like I said, I think right now you could take Tua and put him on this Lions team and they're going to be the exact same way. There'll be no drop.
Okay, I think they will. I don't know. I think like I said, this ain't no slight to Tua because I'm a fan of Tua as well. But Tua is accurate, but Tua don't. Okay, here's what you probably gonna get real mad at me saying this, but Tua don't have the same. He's not as accurate or don't have the same arm strength that Goff do.
I agree with the arm strength. Now. I agree with the arm strength,
Goff,
but not the accuracy.
Nah, hey, Goff is literally like now. I don't know if Tua just passed him up or whatever, but as far as this year, Goff was the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, and that one bad chance either. I've been watching him play. The man, he gets it in. Even that game where he threw 5 picks. I mean, only maybe 3 of those picks, and you could really argue that third one, but only 3 of those picks was his fault. The other 2 weren't even his fault. It's just the defense made good plays.
I think
it wasn't none with his accuracy.
And they still won that game too.
Exactly. That's crazy.
But I think they won it going away too. It's not even like it was close, but
yeah.
But that just go to show you how that team is. I think that team is going to crush everybody in the playoffs. Like it's not going to be close. Like they are gonna go on a historical run. And they'll be in the Super Bowl. I got them as a representative for the NFC.
The only team I think that can get them a run for their money in the playoffs right now, and just because of the way they playing in the regular season, the Vikings.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Vikings probably the only ones. They solid, man.
Yeah, the Vikings got a team on them, man. But hey. We'll be back here next week again because we got another game. We got another game. Unfortunately, I wish the season just was over right now, but we got another game, man. So Eddie, I appreciate you coming up, man. Y'all make sure and tune in to Eddie Israel's channel, The Men of God. Make sure drop the link in the chat.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you for coming up.
All right, take it easy, my brother.
All right, man. I am about to close out. Who was that? Anthony said he couldn't get on. He was trying to get on, but the StreamYard wasn't letting him on, man. I'd have loved for him to come on though. And hadn't heard from Anthony, but we'll be back next week. Next week the Dolphins play the 49ers at home. So we'll be here next week at 4:30 to go over that game. Then we go to Cleveland, which is going to be a snow game, and then we finish off the season against the Jets. So the best thing we can hope for right now is that we end up with a winning record, 9-8. We were 9-8 the year before last, so that's the best we could hope for, that we win, at least have another winning season. But as far as the playoffs, those hopes are over. That's it for that. The Dolphins played a piss poor game today. Tua decided to have the worst game of the season outside of the Buffalo game where he got hurt, but he decided to have the worst game of his season today with everything on the line. So I know he's going to be vilified for that, but hey, that's why you're in the NFL. That's why you're making $50 million. So you got to stand up and take it. Let's go over the scores in the NFL first before I get out of here. Where are we? All right. So you have, all right. So week 15, you have the Rams. Okay. So the Rams beat the 49ers 12-6 on Thursday. Ugh. God, that has been a defensive struggle. The Commanders 20-19 winners over the Saints. The Chiefs 21-7 winners over the Browns. The Bengals 37-27 winners over the Titans. The Texans over the good guy Miami Dolphins 20-12. The Ravens, last time I checked, Lamar Jackson had 5 touchdowns at one point. 35-14 winners over the Giants. The Jets 32-25 winners over the Jaguars. The Cowboys 30-14 winners over the Panthers. So I know Ben is somewhere jumping for joy because he beat the Panthers. And right now in the late games, we have the Chargers up 17-10 over the Buccaneers. The Colts that lead the Dolphins in the hunt category are 10-7, are up 10-7 over the Broncos. The Cardinals are up 10-3 over the Patriots. Oh, the Bills are up 21-14 in the second over the Lions. I'm telling you, man, the Buffalo is that team, man. The Eagles are destroying the Steelers right now. Zay won't show up, though. He'll never say anything. 17-3. And then tonight you have the Packers versus the Seahawks. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Bears, Vikings, and Falcons, Raiders. So there you have it, man. Shout out to everybody that came through. Let me see. Okay, so Eddie's also going to start his own channel. What did I say? Not, wow. Wait, not you. Oh, not your average gamer. Okay, I'm thinking, okay, not your average gamer. Okay. Oh, you're going to start a gaming channel, Eddie? All right, cool. I need to get on my PS5, man, but every time I try to do it, it's like something always comes up or something that I want to watch. And speaking of watch, we could fire something up. So yeah, man, thank you guys for coming through. I wish this would have been a victory post game, but it's not. The Dolphins let us down, as they always do. You know what they always say, man. When I die, I want the Dolphins to be the pallbearer so they can let me down one more time. Because they've been letting us down forever. So they've been letting us down forever, man. But we still love them. We still love them. Man. So, hey, man, thanks to everybody that came out, man. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitter. I will be back next Sunday for the Dolphins versus 49ers post-game show. Until then, we'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find what I rhyme is not a lie. Come take a walk through my heart, a stroll through my soul. Been smart from the start, wasn't taught, wasn't told. You could climb through my mind, or fly through my eye. And in time you will find